Welcome back to the Locker Room Lingo podcast. This is episode 4. We're your hosts, Dylan, Matthew, and Luca. And today we have a huge topic to cover as this past weekend was Super Bowl weekend, as you all probably know. And there is a lot of emotion going on between the three of us, especially Luca, as he is a 49ers fan.
We were having an intervention before this started.
Yeah, we're trying to save as much. It was really hard not to talk about the Super Bowl, as friends, but we tried to save as much talk for this podcast. And Luca, let's just jump right into it and hear your thoughts.
I don't want to do this podcast, to be honest with you. I was dreading this moment, and I'm gonna try and get through this without crying on the mic and make myself a meme. But I am disgusted. I am heartbroken beyond belief. And I'm disgusted at what I saw on Sunday night. I have no words. I could spend this podcast could be 5 hours long of me complaining. I swear it could. It would. It should be, honestly.
Are you disgusted? Who are you just okay? Well, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to cover.
So
here.
much to cover. I mean,
let's just the team as a whole, or like a specific.
I'm trying. I'm not even kidding you. When you I was doing so good today. I wasn't thinking about it, talking about it. Now I got to do this podcast, and my blood is boiling right now. And my
Instagram post or no?
Oh god, the Instagram post, I was gonna knock you out. You think I was joking too? I mean, I'm not here to play games right now. Listen, I'm just gonna read you guys off the last 12 years of 49ers playoff performances. Are you ready for this? In 2011, they lost to the New York Giants in the NFC Championship game. Right, their first time in the playoffs in 9 seasons. They lost. Okay, then 2012, they lost in the Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens. 2013, they lost the NFC Championship to the Seattle Seahawks. Then they missed the playoffs 5 straight years. 2019, they lost the Super Bowl. Then missed the playoffs. In 2021, they lost the NFC Championship. 2022, they lost the NFC Championship. In 2023, they lost the Super Bowl. Listen, as a 49ers fan, if you are under the age of 30 as a 49ers fan, it has been disgusting to watch. Listen, they've won 5 Super Bowls 30 years ago. I mean, I get it. They're going to be considered this top team all time because of that. But 30 years, and it's just been embarrassing loss after embarrassing loss.
It's the same as the Cowboys.
Yeah, listen, I'm a 49ers fan. I'm a 49ers fan, and I'm done acting like the 49ers aren't in the same boat as the Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't won a playoff game, so it's different. But the 49ers are just losing the Super Bowl. It's the same thing. 3 Super Bowl losses in 10 years. That's blasphemy. That's ridiculous. That's actually insane. How do you lose 3 Super Bowls in 10 years and 2 of the same team? It's just disgusting.
Hurts more. Yeah,
it does.
Buffalo.
They give you hope and they just tear it from you. But enough complaining and making this about a therapy session. Let's actually talk about the game and what really went wrong for the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. Listen, pound for pound, this is a better football team. And you know what? We don't see one funny. We talked about it on the podcast last time. The only way that Mahomes wins this game is if he beats out Brock Purdy. Guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't think Mahomes played better than Brock Purdy. And I don't think Matthew Mahomes beat Brock Purdy. I think we're in agreement with that. He did not beat Brock Purdy on Sunday. You could argue to a certain degree he had maybe a little bit better stats.
I think he beat him in overtime. That's all that matters.
You could argue he had better stats than Brock Purdy, but he did not beat Brock Purdy on Sunday. Plain and simple, this loss is solely on Kyle Shanahan. It is solely on Kyle. There's no ifs about it. The defense played phenomenal.
I would not put the sole blame on Kyle
Mahomes threw for 80 more yards than Purdy and got 1 more touchdown. He also had an interception.
I don't.
Purdy didn't have.
I don't care.
It's just the first half, Purdy, listen, I think Mahomes, the 49ers came out there, right? Got there. I mean, didn't come out there. They didn't score until the second quarter. No one got touched until the second quarter. And they shut the Chiefs down to 3, right? And I think they were both amazing offenses, but to be able to have your defense as a 49ers fan, right? Your defense held the Chiefs to 3 points in the first half, but it's still a 1-score game. That's on your offense, right?
Now, but I think you have to understand here. I know people are going to think that Brock Purdy played a bad game. If you actually watch the game and you know football,
mid-game.
If you watch the game and you know football, you know that Brock Purdy did absolutely nothing wrong on Sunday, and I could tell you.
He overthrew multiple touchdowns.
I want
Kansas City was
hold on.
All
that's what I was going to say, Matthew. So the Ayuk pass you're talking about, they overthrew.
Yeah, I know he was pressured.
Yeah, no. Ayuk stopped running. It was a miscommunication. If Ayuk kept running, that's a touchdown. The Debo pass, overthrown. There's no argument about that. The Ayuk throw was all Ayuk's fault. And again, if you know football,
no, but I was saying even the Debo throw, Ayuk was wide open in the end zone there. So
The Ayuk was
that
open,
Debo pass in the second quarter.
And then he had Chris Jones in his face. Listen, I think people gotta understand this game was not Brock Purdy's fault.
I'm not blaming Purdy.
Watch this. Brock Purdy gave the 49ers every chance to win this game. In overtime, he led them down the field. And if Kyle Shanahan wasn't a moron, he would have gone for it on 4th down. And if they had better pass protection actually on 3rd down, it would have been a touchdown. And everyone's talking about Brock Purdy being a hero, right? He passed touchdown in overtime. Regardless, though, we'll get to overtime in a second. Let's talk about the actual.
Let's go. You saying that Brock Purdy gave this team every chance to win is just incorrect.
No, because
Mahomes wouldn't have got in that situation in the first place.
You have to understand it's all about scheming. Mahomes had a beautiful scheme set up for him by Andy Reid that was getting guys open.
Way less talented.
You have to understand Brock Purdy did nothing wrong in this game, and you know that by watching it. Kyle Shanahan had terrible plays drawn up, and the receivers weren't getting open. No one was open. Brock Purdy was sitting in the pocket. No one open. He was forcing balls to guys that were in double coverage. There's no one open, right? So you got to go back to the coaching to really look back at this and say there's no schemes that were set up for this team to succeed offensively. There was no schemes. In the third quarter, you're not running.
They didn't really adjust to anything.
You're not running the ball once in the third quarter. There is no excuses. Kyle Shanahan lost his football game. He was out-coached, plain and simple. It's all his fault. And I'm not even going to act like it's not his fault. The receivers you can blame to a certain degree that they had a bad game. Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle, they did not do enough to win this game. They didn't get enough open space. They didn't get Brock Purdy anyone to throw to. Sure. But at the end of the day, it's all on Kyle Shanahan. He's the head coach, and he's got to make the better plays. He's got to adjust and say, damn, these cornerbacks are locking up my guys. These are great McDuffie, Snead, these are great players, and they're locking up the receivers. What are you going to do as a head coach to make sure Debo gets the ball? He's a weapon. Give him the ball as a screen pass and let him run. What are you going to make sure Ayuk does to get the ball? George Kittle. That's the adjustments you got to make as a head coach that he did not make. This loss is all on him, and I think, plain and simple, we'll dissect more why, but that's my opinion.
Matthew, what were you going to say?
I mean, I was going to say, Purdy, at the end of the day, Purdy didn't throw any picks. I mean, Kansas City only got 1 sack, but they were pressuring him a lot of the time in the game.
Yeah, good ball control.
It really came down to just Kansas City's defense and locking up all their wide receivers and containing Christian McCaffrey. I mean, CMC only ran for 80 yards.
It was all about that D.
Yeah. He only ran for 80 rushing yards.
Yeah, and he had 80 receiving yards, Matthew, and a touchdown. Listen, McCaffrey played a phenomenal game.
Okay.
McCaffrey carried them on their back.
Yeah. Okay, let me speak. He did get a touchdown. Yeah, that was a great touchdown, by the way. That was a great throw from Juwan. Juwan had a great game.
Juwan, the GOAT. Had a great game.
But yeah,
Juwan and McCaffrey, like people did anything.
They held him only to 80 rushing yards, and he was getting stuffed all the time. Christian McCaffrey only got held to 80 rushing yards 5 times this season. And they lost 3 out of the 5 times, right? And one of those times he got benched, the winning games. So, I mean, you already know, Kansas City's whole game plan was just stopping Christian McCaffrey. Because, I mean, he still had a good game, obviously. He still got a touchdown.
I wouldn't say that worked, though.
No, it didn't even work. Their game plan was to force their game plan was to force Brock Purdy to throw. They said that was their game plan. They said it after the game, and it was clearly shown.
They did, and then their defense locked up all their wide receivers.
Exactly.
All their great wide receivers, they were getting nowhere.
Exactly. Listen, Brock Purdy made a lot of great plays. He escaped the pocket. And that pass to Juszczyk, Kittle. He had some plays where he was on the run, evading a sack, making a play. He did have a good game, I think. I don't think Brock Purdy is at fault for this loss to any degree. I mean, maybe an overthrown ball to Debo at one point, you could argue, sure. But Brock Purdy, for the most part, played a phenomenal game, right? And for the most part, the defense played an outstanding game. They held Patrick Mahomes to 3 points in the first half. And for almost the entire second half, they held him to, 17 points? They had control of Patrick Mahomes. They had an interception. They had a forced fumble. The defense had 3 and out to 3 and out to 3 and out. Great game by the defense. At the end of the day, it comes down to coaching, like I said. I mean, you have to adjust as a coach. Brock Purdy can only do so much to make plays, right? If you're not giving him the right plays to draw up, he can't do anything about it. He doesn't make the calls. Kyle Shanahan does, right? So,
I think also, obviously Shanahan, out of all those units, coaching would be the one to blame it. But also, the tide of the game really changed with the punt, in the missed reception.
Yeah, and that was definitely a problem.
You can't blame that on anyone. You can blame it on those guys, but it was just kind of just a miscommunication, bad luck kind of bounce there. And that's not really on Shanahan at all.
Yeah,
obviously,
I mean,
as
obviously
a coach, you
not.
have to adjust to that.
Not, but
like without that play there,
but it doesn't matter because they held them to 3 points at the end of the day at that play, right? So it's like it wasn't like it cost them a touchdown, right? I mean, it's miscommunication.
Well, they scored enough. Didn't they not score on that drive?
I think that was a field goal drive, was it not?
I thought they got a touchdown on that drive because they were like right there.
Yeah, they were.
I
Really
got
a touchdown on that drive. Maybe that was. I think that was a Valdez-Scantling touchdown, maybe, but. Regardless, it didn't make that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. It still kept the game basically at a tie, right? The real tide of the game changed when they missed extra point because it made the Chiefs, all the Chiefs needed was a field goal at that point, right? Instead of a touchdown, which would obviously make things a lot, harder for Patrick Mahomes to get into the end zone with 6 seconds left, right? So the missed extra point by Moody was really the critical moment in this game. Yeah. But now let's we can point out every mistake. Brock Purdy overthrowing Debo. We can point out the punt. We can point out the extra point miss. We can point out these little things that happened. The fumble from McCaffrey. Yes, these things that changed, that lost the 49ers down, right? That lost the 49ers opportunity. Going to overtime, it's still a tie game, right? In overtime, this is where the big mistake started. No one on the 49ers team knew the rules of overtime fully. Maybe a couple of them did, right? Now, the head coach, Kyle Shanahan, knew the rules of overtime. And for him to know the rules and do what he did is even more laughable. I think the biggest problem with Kyle Shanahan was not even necessarily the play calling. He underestimated Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he underestimated Patrick Mahomes. He really thought, even in the fourth quarter, right, when the Niners took a 19-16 lead, if Mahomes had 5 more seconds, the Chiefs win the game. We're in agreement on that.
Yeah, like as soon as the Mahomes, everyone knew. As soon as everyone but Shanahan knew. As soon as Mahomes got the ball back.
Even the bench, Brock Purdy was sitting there like he knew it was done. Like, you're giving Patrick Mahomes the ball back. You know he's going to score. Like, this guy. In the fourth quarter, game the line, he's going to lead the guys downfield and score. In the fourth quarter, when it was 16-16, I would have gone for it on 4th and 3. I don't know why they took the field goal. Go for it. Keep the ball out of his hands. If you don't get it, the Chiefs get the ball back. They're going to win the game anyways at this point. Like, you don't have much of a chance in that scenario.
It was really there's the defense that failed in there because obviously he put his faith in the defense. It's a bad. Okay, I don't it's not an egregious call to me, Shanahan doing that because
I think it's egregious.
The defense so far has been pretty, especially in the first half. The second half, the fourth quarter, they kind of let some stuff up. But for the most part, the defense has been pretty shut down, at least in the first half of the game. And he's hoping they can go back to that point. And how far would the kick have been there? It was 4th and 3, right?
In the fourth quarter.
In overtime.
In overtime, in overtime, it was on the 5-yard line, so 4-yard line. So it would have been 4th and 2 on the 4-yard line. Or I think the 5-yard line it was 4th and 1. So 4th and 4.
So he misses that. It's basically a game because
Well, no, because if he misses that, okay. So in the scenario they were in, right? They're on 2nd and the real issue started on this play here, when they were on 3rd and 4. If I'm Kyle Shanahan in overtime, you're playing 4-down ball the whole way. It does not matter. With Patrick Mahomes on the other side, you're playing 4-down ball. Mm-hmm. On 3rd and 4, I would have ran it with McCaffrey. Maybe McCaffrey gets loose and gets in the end zone, and that's obviously a great scenario. Maybe McCaffrey gets 3 yards, and now you have a 4th and 1, right? Or maybe by some miracle he gets stuffed, and now it's 4th and 4 again. No matter what you're going for here. And on 4th and 4, then you pass the ball. But the idea, he really thought that they were going to get the ball back. Like, Kyle Shanahan genuinely thought that there was a chance they win it on the 3rd possession. But he should have known with Mahomes on their side, there was going to be no 3rd possession. It was not going to happen, right?
One possession.
Yeah. Because now, here's the big issue, too. If you elect to receive in overtime the new rules, right, and you get the touchdown, Mahomes has 4 downs the entire way. Because they need a touchdown, he's playing 4-down ball the entire way. Mahomes with 4 downs is a scary thought. Like, very scary. Like, and you know they're going to score. And just
you saw it.
Exactly.
Everyone knew what was happening except for the defense. He was going to take it, he was going to run. He was going to go get the first down.
And the silver lining here is that Kyle Shanahan did not know what was going on and he underestimated Patrick Mahomes. The entire team knew that if he gets the ball back, they're winning the game. Because if Mahomes gets the ball back, and let's say the Niners score in the first possession of overtime, he's got 4 downs to get down the field and score. And you know what? Knowing because it's Mahomes, they'll get the 2-point conversion, win the game, right? So in both those scenarios, you're not winning the football game. In that case, and in this moment, I didn't even think about this. I didn't even have the opinion to say, oh, no, they should like to give it to Mahomes. Honestly, I do think they should have let Mahomes start because now Mahomes gets downfield, he scores, and now you're down 7 in overtime. But now if you go downfield and score, you're in a chance to win the game again, not 2-point conversion, right? I think Kyle Shanahan didn't trust Brock Purdy. I think he knew that if Mahomes scored in the first drive, it would need Brock Purdy to get downfield and get touchdowns.
So, but in these rules, if the 49ers, if they did that, Mahomes got a first, scored a touchdown, 49ers came back, scored a touchdown, went for a 2-point, but they missed it. The game's
over.
Right?
Chiefs win, yeah.
Okay,
and that mindset is what really stressed out Shannon because he knew that's a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy, and he didn't trust him. And I think that's a bad coaching decision.
Well, I mean, it's not really his fault. I don't think it's Brock Purdy. The offense wasn't performing all game. So
yeah, and it isn't Brock Purdy, right? And I think Shanahan looked at it and said, our offense has been obviously lackluster. If we score the first possession of overtime,
the entire second half was completely reliant on CMC to do something.
Even overtime, it was CMC.
Every play. Yeah, it was having just chunk yards, then dump off.
Well, they wouldn't even have gotten in a position to kick a field goal if it wasn't for Juwan Jennings. When he got a holding call on a third down that would have been a fourth down if there wasn't a holding call. That would have been and they wouldn't have been anywhere near field goal position. So
that was clearly a
Juwan Jennings is a real MVP on the 49ers side, even though they lost.
No, that was
a great game.
That was clearly a holding call. But anyway, speaking of holding, I mean that was another big thing people noted too was the holding in that game from the Chiefs was outlandish. But
before we get into that, I just want to ask because we didn't even really say we kind of did the whole 49ers rant and stuff, but what did you guys actually think of the game? Just as
enough emotions. Listen, the first half was very boring. Obviously, I'm in a position of bias where I'm first half was great for me because I'm we're controlling the game, right? But in realistic, as a football fan, you're watching that game. It's boring. It's punt after punt. There's a big play by the 49ers, which is cool. Again, receiver passing touchdown, but other than that, your first.
I bet on McCaffrey getting a first touchdown of the game, so I was hyped for that, especially in the way it happened.
Yeah, but it was a boring first half, and the second half, for the most part, in third quarter was also pretty boring. Fourth quarter, it was must-watch football though. That was
fourth quarter to overtime was
fourth quarter to overtime was peak Super Bowl. I mean, crazy good football. But other than that, it was a boring game as a fan.
So out of 10, what would you?
I'd give it a 7. I'd give it a 7 just because the first half was so boring.
As well.
Just such a boring.
Yeah, it was a defensive showdown.
The first 3 quarters were
Yeah, it was a defensive slugfest.
Especially the start of the second half was just
good defensive plays as far as.
Yeah, the start of the second half was just it felt like it took so long for offensively to get moving. It was just punt after punt after punt. Kansas City got they broke the record twice in the game for longest field goal in the Super Bowl, which is kind of crazy.
The 49ers did it first.
49ers also. There's three broken records in the same night in the field goal. That's how crazy this game
was. Was it 3?
Yeah, it was. Moody broke it first, and then Bucker broke it twice himself. So he broke his own record.
I don't know if Bucker broke it twice. Goddamn.
It wasn't even that impressive a record. It was
it was just it's just no one kicks field goals in the Super Bowl because it's not something you should do.
But also, now it was just the pressure. Also, you got to respect the pressure from them making that.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the Chiefs. Obviously, not for the 49ers and what they did wrong. What the Chiefs did right in this game shall also be noted. Obviously, when it came to
they benched Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, that was the first great move by them.
Big blow for the 49ers.
Other than that, goodness, they just you can't even point that much they did well. It was really the last drive in the fourth quarter that Mahomes led them downfield, and that was crazy.
It just came down to keeping up with the already not good 49ers offense.
It was not much.
And then just out clutching them in the end.
Yeah, it was not a Mahomes masterclass. Okay.
Well, that overtime was.
Yeah, the overtime drive was the Mahomes masterclass.
That was vintage.
Yeah, that was I'm gonna win this football game and get this win for us. That was what it is. He ran for it on 4th and 1. But yeah, the 49ers. Listen, I think the silver lining here again. I'm going to mention is the 49ers lost this game. The Chiefs did not win. Okay, the 49ers lost this game. The 49ers should have won this football game very easily, and they didn't. And that I think, like I said, it comes down to coaching. It's who's going to be the better coach. Andy Reid is the better coach, right? We said, is it going to be quarterback? Mahomes is the better quarterback. Is it going to be coach? Andy Reid's the better coach. That's where this game was lost. It was the coaching. Andy Reid just coached a better game than Kyle Shanahan, and he won because of it. And that's
it's just crazy. I saw a video today on Instagram just being this is the team that won the Super Bowl, and it's just throughout the season, the Chiefs were a mess. They were just a mess of a team.
They just didn't have anyone.
Just the drops, the chemistry seemed off. Everyone just seemed off, and just throughout the playoffs, they just put together a Super Bowl team. The defense stepped up this season. They're incredibly good. Mahomes, when he needs to be there, he's there, and they won. I don't know. It was so it was a good game as far as I don't know. It's just This was a nightmare. We talked about this, Matthew, for you and me. This is the nightmare Super Bowl.
And it was the nightmare scenario for me as well. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you.
The bad ending.
The night of the Super Bowl, I was.
This is the bad ending for everybody.
As the game progressed, I was needing to consume more fun juice.
Alcohol.
Consume more fun juice. I was like, at the stress, I almost had a heart attack. Am I even kidding you? I mean, people were like, I was out of someone's house, obviously, and like people thought I was like literally gonna die. I was like, you couldn't even like explain the swirl of emotions I was having. It was like every moment I was like, oh my god, what is going on? Like, it was insane. And
also, I do think I want to bring up just as far as enjoyment for people to like for the NFL, right? Like it was, because I was talking to people who really don't watch football, but everyone's watching the Super Bowl, right? And they're saying how like they just genuinely like they found it so boring, and then when the fourth quarter came, they were like genuinely intrigued, right? Because when it hit that 2-minute mark, and then overtime, there was like no commercials, right? So
yeah,
it really like even my mom was saying, right? She was really no understanding of like the game and the flow and stuff, but she was able to like completely follow it, and the intensity was there because it was just like you felt every play. You could just like the inch by inch is usually kind of boring when there's commercials in between, but like the inch by inch battle to get to the first down, everybody was able to understand it, and everyone kind of I think saw why we all love football so much in those moments because like everybody was saying it was intense.
I was even
talking. My girlfriend who does not care.
Yeah. I was talking to someone who doesn't even watch football. I might start watching football because of this. Because like you see the intensity in that game. Like it's like these guys are going. It's now or go home, right? Like this is a play. And I think the big moment where I think the Niners lost was on that it was 3rd and 4 in the fourth quarter. If the Niners got a first down, they win the game, right? Because if they get a first down, they burn the clock, take a field goal, they win it, right? And they didn't get the first down, obviously. And I think right then and there.
No, isn't there multiple quarters?
What?
What are you talking about? Are you talking about in overtime? Or no?
No, I'm talking about the fourth quarter. It was 16-16, right? The Niners had the Chiefs like 30, right? And it was 3rd and 4. And there was 2 timeouts for the Chiefs and 1:20 in the clock, right? So if the Niners get the first down here, they can burn the rest of the clock and kneel out and win and take the field goal, win the game, right? And I was watching that play. I'm like, this is the Super Bowl right here. I even told Isaac, I was like, this is the Super Bowl right here. If they don't get this, it's over. And he's like, I agree. And if the Chiefs had even 2 more seconds on the clock, they would have ended it before overtime. Like, they were on the 2-yard line. Like, they were that close, right? Like, they would have ended it before overtime even started, right?
Yeah.
And that was the play, I think, where you had to see, like, hey, can this O-line keep intact, and can the receivers make a play? None of them did. The O-line collapsed. Brock Purdy was running out of the pocket within half a second, and the receiver got open, and he threw it away.
Like, at the end of the day, like you said, I don't think, even though I'm not blaming Purdy, I don't think he played like some phenomenal game. That you said, used the word phenomenal. I just don't think, like, Mahomes.
I didn't say phenomenal. I said he did everything he could to win that game. That's what I said.
I know, you said phenomenal at some point, but the Mahomes, even though he didn't even have a phenomenal game for the most of the time, it was just like to be that Super Bowl champion, to be this Hall of Famer, to be on that level, right? Which people were obviously not saying Purdy's better than Mahomes, but they were using the MVP.
Yeah, listen,
category.
I said moments. I said last podcast. I said.
I know, and I'm saying
right?
those there's the moments where Purdy, even though no one was open and stuff, I feel like Mahomes would have just found a way. You know what I mean? And he did. When no one was open, he took the ball himself and got the first down. He ran 15 yards,
I was going to mention that next.
And
right?
Purdy had those moments in the championship game and stuff like that, but he wasn't able to have those moments in the Super Bowl. So I think Mahomes just outplayed him.
I think I would have loved to see Purdy run a little bit more. He ran like once, I think, and he got 12 yards in that run. Like, why are you not running more? Like, why is not Shannon letting it Purdy? Like, Purdy, we didn't know this when Purdy was starting, but he's a very elusive quarterback. Like, he can get out of the pocket and he can run. And we saw against the Lions, he can do it. And I don't think
he looks like Mahomes running there.
Yeah, and I don't think Kyle Shannon believes that. I think he still thinks he's a pocket guy. Let him loose let him escape, roll out, and run. Because if he could have ran a couple times in this game, I mean, we're looking at a much different game. We're looking at a game where the front Irish could have won before overtime.
I mean, it felt like Shanahan. It felt like a game of Madden where you're winning the whole time, and then you kind of start slipping from you. So you just go like, "Okay, I'm just gonna spam McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I'm gonna spam what I know works." But then it didn't work, and they figured it out, and he really make adjustments.
I think the big issue psychologically for Kyle Shanahan. He was thinking, okay, Brock Purdy's a young guy in the Super Bowl. I don't know if I fully trust him to do these certain rollouts. I don't think I fully trust him to do certain things. To come back in overtime by a touchdown, and he didn't fully appreciate Mahomes. He didn't know Mahomes. Like, he wasn't familiar with this game, Like, I'm not familiar with the game, man. So I apologize.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like. He thought Mahomes was some average quarterback, And I think that's where
I think Shanahan just outsmarts himself all the time. Like
he does, yeah.
He's like always overthinking. He's always doing the most extra thing, right? And like sometimes it works, like with the McCaffrey touchdown in the second quarter. But other times it's just like, yeah, he thinks he's like smarter than he is sometimes, and he thinks he's like he figured out Mahomes or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's what I think.
Well, you didn't, buddy.
Yeah, you did. You didn't come close to figuring it out. Now, Matthew,
You're not that guy, pal.
What are your thoughts on the Chiefs performance on Sunday?
Well, like I said last week, just Mahomes is just gonna figure it out. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna find a way to win.
Yeah, your bet for like every bet you made.
I was riding the Chiefs the whole way, and I was right. I was right the whole way.
You don't want a lot of money. You bet them every week.
Of course. I'm a rich man now. No,
you should have put money on it, bro.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, I think obviously Kansas City, Mahomes, they played a pretty good game. He didn't play perfectly, but it didn't really matter because he pulled out in the end. I mean, Patrick Mahomes in overtime, like he's not like messing up. You know, he's gonna go and score.
Yeah.
Regardless if he gets it second or first. So he pulls out, figures out how to way to win. And that's what I've been saying. And I was right.
So Matthew loved when Mahomes pulled out.
Pause.
But I was gonna say, so we talked 26 minutes about the actual game itself. I wanna just talk about the Super Bowl as a whole, as an experience. Matthew, sorry, did you give a rating for how much you liked it?
Just the game itself? And overall?
Like
entertainment wise? It was probably like a 6. Maybe 5.5.
Damn.
Honestly, I wasn't that entertained until the end of the game.
So
and plus the halftime show.
I also just want to
throw that.
Let's talk about that real quick. Because I was gonna bring up just a little bit more Taylor Swift. You know,
I don't want to hear Taylor Swift's name. I'm done.
I'm sorry.
Let me talk. I am sick. I am sick to my stomach with this woman. I am sick to my stomach. Okay, Taylor Swift. I was a Swiftie. I had so many songs in my gym playlist. I PR'd to Taylor Swift. Bad Blood is a banger. I used to love Love Story. Like, I like the country stuff. I'm an OG Swiftie. I removed every single song. from my library. I don't want to hear her name again. I don't want to see her again. When Travis Kelce retires, I will rejoice. Like it is the birth of Christ. I am so done. Every time she went on the screen on Sunday, I'm not even kidding you, I screamed in agony, in anger. Like, I hate this woman. Like, I hate her now. And you know what's funny? Like, people hate Mahomes the most. I hate Travis Kelce the most. I mean, first of all, I had him in fantasy.
Mahomes seems so much lower likable than
listen.
Kelce.
I had him for Kelce in fantasy, and he screwed it up for me. He's a bum, okay? Secondly, his girlfriend is just she's the biggest celebrity in the world, and because of that, she's ruined football. I mean, she's ruined the sacred sport for men. Women are not watching. I mean, I was with a guy on Sunday watching a game, and his girlfriend was texting him, wow, the 49ers gotta get a touchdown. He's like, why is she talking about the 49ers right now? Like, what is going on? Like, it's sickening. It is sickening how she's ruined this sport. Mahomes is at least humble. And, you know, like, he isn't doing anything wrong. Like, he's not, you know, making no children like Tom Brady did.
Hold on.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Wait,
he's not making no children like Tom Brady.
Oh, that's wild.
Don't even. Tom Brady's 100 times more likable than
He just slips that in the end. Like, he's not making out with children. Like, he just slips it in.
Yeah.
His dad has 3 DUIs. His brother's annoying. His wife's annoying. But he himself is a great player.
Besides when he's being unsportsmanlike and being a bitch, but
yeah, exactly.
Anyways, but I was saying, I actually like Taylor Swift though. Like, it's not her that's like you're saying like she's ruined football. It's the media, bro. It's the media. Like,
yes,
she's just there supporting her boy. Like, we have to like establish that we're not like hating on her.
Indirectly, Kelce and Swift have ruined football. Indirectly, and because it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because they don't have control, but they've ruined it by just being together.
Like, Luca, I sent this to you guys on Instagram. I actually threw it in my mouth when I opened Instagram right after the game. Yeah. TSN post this, right? This was egregious. They deleted the post. It was so bad. It was a graphic of Kelce and Mahomes on the sidelines, like kind of hugging, like the shaking hands, right? And then they're on the bottom of the screen, and then in the middle of the screen it was just Taylor Swift in the middle of the field on the stage holding up the Lombardi Trophy. Yeah, and I was like, what the hell did I just and then you got deleted. They deleted it.
Like, the worst part of that is like people like enjoy that. Like all the freaking Swifties, they're like,
oh my god,
they like it, and they're like, this is so like relatable. Like, shut up, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
You tell it, Matthew.
Yes, please.
And also,
like,
I want to point out one more thing after the Swift conversation about Tony Romo. So we'll continue with Swift. I got bone to pick with Tony Romo too, but continue.
Okay, sure. First, let's just get Swift done. Then we'll talk just briefly about the halftime show and something has to Romo or DeAndre Romo. Okay, it doesn't matter. But I'm just gonna say about Swift is that, it's the social media, bro. There's another one. I think it was ESPN casting the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce movie. And they had like Jaden Smith casted as Patrick Mahomes and like Donald Glover. Like, I was like, "What is this shit?"
I'm done with this nonsense.
Like, get this out. I don't want to think about. I'm almost. This is the first time I'm almost glad the NFL season's over. We don't have to look at that anymore.
Thank God it's over. But listen,
I mean, like that's a horrible post. But like the worst part of that is like, why would there ever be a casting of Jaden Smith? What's his name? Is it Jaden Smith?
Yeah, I know. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Right?
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Or Donald Glover.
In what world would that be the casting? If there was a movie.
It makes no sense.
That's crazy.
It's okay. Well, let's look quickly about Romo, and then we'll get into the just more like kind of commercials and stuff. Rate the actual experience of the Super Bowl.
I'll make it quick and simple. Tony Romo sucks. He sucks. I hope Tony Romo. I hope he never gets to announce a Super Bowl ever again. He's an absolutely.
I was too drunk to notice.
He's an absolutely terrible announcer. He doesn't know how to talk football. He doesn't know. Like, he thinks he knows what he's talking about half the time, and he was a quarterback in the NFL. He never won a playoff game. I mean, your opinion means nothing. He gets glazes Mahomes the entire time. Yeah. And you'd think in the Super Bowl he'd stop glazing him, right? Because it's like the Super Bowl, right? Like, hey, like, be a little more fair. The 49ers are just as good, right? But he still did it. And it's like, man, like, he doesn't know how to be an announcer. And even, like, the media was talking about after. This is, like, a outrageous opinion. Like, people agree Tony Romo should not be announcing Super Bowls. He's great for regular season, but he should not announce Super Bowls because he's way too biased.
He's got a good voice. He's got a good demeanor, but he just sounds like it's annoying.
When you're sitting him next to Jim Nantz, you have Jim Nantz beside you with one of the most iconic announcers ever. You have those two guys beside each other. It doesn't match anymore. It's done. Like, you can't have Jim Nantz with Tony Romo. It doesn't make sense anymore. But let's get to the.
Well, next year Tom Brady's gonna be an announcer.
Yeah, Tom Brady's gonna be an announcer.
Yeah, but he's replacing Greg Olsen though. Yeah. I like Greg Olsen as an announcer. Anyways, Usher 1 to 10. What do you think? What's the rating?
0.
That was a 4.
That was a big
time 4 because
worst halftime show I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I don't see like people. That was pretty good. Like, it was. Like, it is. I said to Matthew, it's exactly what I expected. Like, when they announced Usher, I was like, bro, he's gonna be mid. Like, he has. I like some of his songs, like his hits. But it's not like hype Super Bowl music. It's like R&B kind of sexy, take your shirt off music. That's what it was. That's what his performance was. And then when he did get to the hype songs, it was good, but there was 2 of them. It was like, and they're at the very end. It felt short. The production was fine, but the songs itself were just terrible. He had better songs to choose from too. Like, I was hoping to hear DJ Got Us Fall in Love Again. Didn't hear that. Yeah, it was good. Turned Down for What was good. Ludacris showing up was cool, but it's just like, you're gonna get copyrighted.
My voice is so good. We're gonna get copyrighted.
Brutal. It was brutal. In the last 5 years, it's been the worst for sure. I like The Weeknd more. I like Shakira more. Obviously, I like.
Obviously. Can we have them again?
Yeah, bring them back.
And there goes all the female viewers right there.
Yeah. Well, next year, next year Taylor Swift. I honestly hope she does the halftime show.
Why would you hope
No,
absolutely
like,
all the Swifties
not.
would just buy out all the tickets. There would be no football fans. It would just be all Taylor Swift.
Luka. Like, I would have rather her at least do it this year. Come on, like, she's okay.
Absolutely
she does
not.
have good music though. She's better than
not.
Usher.
Now I do want to quickly
No.
What? She's better than Usher. Yes, she is.
I don't like Usher, but
now listen.
That's blasphemy.
The 49ers are making it back next year, and because of that, I'd rather have no Taylor Swift. But I want to give some silver lining to 49ers fans if they're watching this, and they're also as sad as I am. Listen, you got a guy at quarterback for once. Brock Purdy's a guy for the future. He's only going to get better. It's his first full season as a quarterback, so you know he's going to get better. Nick Bosa, you got everyone still there. Ayuk's causing some drama right now, but let him stew. He's being a little bit of whiny right now, but he'll be fine. He'll sign. So that's silver lining for 49ers fans. But I think it's enough for the Super Bowl. We've talked about it for 35 minutes.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Sarah had was the highlight.
I just want to bring up a Instagram post I saw. The Sports Center posted. It's kind of weird.
Go ahead.
From 2019.
Little Mahomie.
Yeah, Little Mahomie. So from the 2019 season to the 2023 season, there's a lot of similarities. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys seen these.
Superbowl.
Oh,
So in the 2019, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl in
that's true.
2019, obviously, and the Chiefs won again this year.
Against the 49ers.
That's again not very I guess
Against the
49ers.
49ers.
Okay, not very weird. Okay, kind of weird, but not as much. In 2019, Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Fast forward to this year, he wins MVP. 2019, Texas win the AFC South with 10 wins. In 2019 and 2023, Texas win the AFC South with 10 wins as well. 2019, Washington is last in the NFC East with 13 losses. 2023, same thing. 2019, Chargers last in the AFC West. 2023, same thing. Cardinals last in the NFC West in 2019, and the same thing in 2023. Panthers last in the NFC South. Panthers last in 2023. So basically, what I'm trying to say is we're living in a simulation.
It's the same.
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
And that just means, guys, that there's gonna be another pandemic in March. So just get ready. It's happening. Unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it was fun.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Second quarantines would be cool, but
another 2020. Is there gonna be another NBA star just like pass away this month?
Oh,
whoa.
That's crazy. No, we got that out. That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
How's that crazy?
That's a crazy.
How's that crazy?
Protect
You're saying
Shaq.
2020 is gonna be
Protect Shaq at all costs. Shaq, hide.
Someone put a bodyguard. Someone put a protection person on Shaq at 24/7.
Don't let him leave. Don't let him leave.
Okay, we get out of that. I don't know. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Okay. End of the Super Bowl.
Anyways.
49ers. I mean, I have no words for you at this point. I'm used to this, so I'm not too shocked right now. But let's talk about WWE now. We had a big conversation last podcast about The Rock and Cody Rhodes and that drama. Well, it looks like you guys got your wish for some stupid reason.
Sure.
Cody Rhodes.
That was
absolute
absolute cinema.
No, it was
absolute cinema. That was crazy.
This is a great storyline they're making up. It's great. It's a good storyline. Matthew, I'll let you take this away. You probably have the most passion for this because you're like the nerds that got angry at me in the comments.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, call me a nerd.
Cody nerd.
I was talking to you guys about this before. I think they haven't announced anything yet, but I think that The Rock should be the referee in their match at WrestleMania. Because I think it just makes sense. I think The Rock should somehow cost Roman Reigns the title at WrestleMania, and that just sets up their feud going forward into SummerSlam or next WrestleMania, and it lets Cody.
How are they gonna sell that though? Just as
Sorry.
How are they gonna just be it's gonna be WrestleMania and it's just The Rock who just stand there in stripes and the ref, it's
wouldn't be the first time.
But it's I feel like it makes you, to me, it just feels like the outcome before the match even happens.
Well, that's what being a WWE fan is. It's most of the time it's pretty predictable.
I guess, yeah.
But I think that would just set up their rivalry a lot better because there would be no title involved, and Cody goes on to.
But I can't see them doing that actually, because I just feel like Cody's story is what everyone wants to see, and they don't want that would feel like you got cheap out. You know what I mean?
The Rock is going to be involved some way. Some people are saying it's going to be a tag team match.
Yeah.
With The Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody. I think that would be stupid.
That'd be cool to see, but as far as the story would really be.
No, not at all. I mean, WrestleMania is a 2-night event. At this point, so they might do night one. That's the main event, the tag team match, and then night 2 is just the one-on-one match. But I feel like the tag match would just kill all the hype for the one-on-one match. Yeah. So I don't think they'd do that. I don't know. I don't know how they involve The Rock. I don't know.
Drew McIntyre.
I think I'm pretty sure at Elimination Chamber they're doing a number one contender match in the Elimination Chamber. For the winner faces Seth at WrestleMania, but I don't know. They have to include The Rock some way in the main event or in WrestleMania somehow. So I don't know how they're gonna do that. Seth is just
a nice guy right now. It's he doesn't have much beef with anyone. With Cody, it felt so why are these two fighting? They just seem like buddies.
Yeah, literally. There was no no tension at all there. The rivalry would have sucked because we're so close to WrestleMania at this point. There's no time to build a super big rivalry, That would just be a waste of time.
Yeah, but the actual segment itself though was beautiful. Having the only thing when watching it, I really I watched it back on YouTube, And like I felt like the crowd pop would have been so much better if they played Cody's song before he came out. Like, that, I was a little like kind of disappointed because like Cody just he talked behind stage and he comes out and it was like, oh, but like if you just had boom boom the song starts playing, that would have been so hype. Yeah. Besides that though, I mean, it was, what more could you want? Like, it was just pure, everything was great. Like The Rock, like it almost like it felt like, I know they didn't, but it almost felt like they pivoted like in the moment because of the backlash of the fans like in the crowd. Like The Rock, like
I don't think so.
I know they didn't, but I'm just saying like it just felt like it felt so good that like that's how like just like it went so well as far as the crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they were all against The Rock, right?
Yeah.
And like,
and I love heel Rock. Heel Rock's the best.
That was awesome.
The Rock always done his best work as a heel. Like that's how he became famous. Like, but when he first debuted, he was like a face and like he got booed 24/7. But as soon as he became a heel, like early in his like career, I started loving him. And that's how he became famous because he's so good on the mic.
Did they bring him in? Like, did they bring him back as a heel? Like, were they planning for a heel? Did they do that?
Oh, absolutely not. Reaction I mean, like, okay. I don't know. It's a debate right now if this was all a work or not. Which now I kind of feel like it was a work.
All right, nerds. Yeah. This is enough. I can't handle.
Hold on. I just want to say that. I just feel like it's really. I think it's really cool being a WWE fan when you have someone like The Rock come in, almost steal Cody's storyline, and then you actually feel. I feel like real life hatred for The Rock. I'm like, oh, he's stealing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then they can just pivot and be like, oh, he's the bad guy. I'm like, oh, now I love him.
Now it's like because we all thought that it was his ego. Like, oh, he would never do that, but no, he's open to being this heel guy for a little bit to allow this story to unfold and then do it. Like, The Rock is not doing it for an ego mindset. Like,
him being heel is like a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, if he really was egotistical, he would say, no, I want this WrestleMania match. But he said no. And now they're going to build up a different storyline with him and Roman. I think it's going to be even cooler. So, The Rock, I have a lot of respect for him even more
now.
He'll
get his WrestleMania match eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, I feel like The Rock wouldn't even, like... I feel like he wouldn't even agree to lose. That was probably the big problem. Like, he's like,
that negotiations,
like,
problem.
No, I'm not losing. Yeah. You know, like in his movies, like doesn't he have something in his contract that he can't lose a fight? That's in his movies. You think it's gonna be any different in WWE? Yeah.
Him and Vin Diesel had beef because in Fast and Furious 8, I think they were supposed to fight each other, and like I don't know which one of them was supposed to lose in the fight, but both their egos are so big that like they wouldn't lose, so they never filmed the scene together.
Yeah.
Every scene they were in together was like they'd film Vin Diesel on one angle and in a different room, and The Rock in another angle, different room, and make it look like they were like looking at each other.
Like, that's just like petty, like, you know.
It's baby, so petty. Yeah. And The Rock. It's not even a debate because The Rock has a huge ego and it's very fragile, and that's the same with most celebrities, especially wrestlers probably. But like you compare it to someone like, you know, John Cena, it's like he's so humble and cool, and I do like The Rock. I'm just saying, but this worked out either way, so it doesn't matter.
The Rock should just fight John Cena at WrestleMania. That's what I say.
Yeah, they both break their
back.
Why not? Yeah, but I don't know. We'll keep covering WWE. There's really not much more to say about it. We kind of, you know, it's just covering that little segment. It's cool. Do you guys have any more thoughts? Really, we talked about it before. The last couple episodes are pretty long, so we just wanted to maybe cut this one down a bit. Focus on the Super Bowl majority of the time because obviously it's the biggest news in sports right now. I don't know. There's really not much else. Yeah, the Blue Jays are getting a city jersey. That's hype.
That's hype.
That's true. Yeah.
I know everyone's
emotionally. I'm tapped out of this podcast. I apologize.
The Blue Jays have to fix their team before they fix their jerseys. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So I think we have one broken man.
Yeah. This was a therapy podcast for me.
Unhappy man.
This is a therapy podcast for me. I mean, I probably talked to most
one unhappy man and two just numb man.
I probably talked to
I am not. I just woke up from a nap before this.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Listen,
Matthew.
Hot take. Naps are an absolute waste of time. If you watch this podcast and you take naps, unfollow
That's
kindly.
Not true.
Thank you.
That isn't true.
Ciao. Adios.
Everyone takes naps.
Naps for bozos. Bozos take naps. That's my opinion.
No.
So.
But yeah, I mean, okay. Anyways. I think, Matthew, unless you have anything else to say, I think you want to wrap this one up. And
I think so.
Yeah, and you go cry my pillow.
Next week we'll come back. This man needs to cry. Next week we're gonna probably just kind of find something more creative to do. Football's over, so depression has begun. I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to go to church. I don't know what to do. I really don't know. F1 maybe, no chance.
No.
But no.
Max Verstappen wins. That's the end of the story.
Yeah.
That'd be every week.
I actually talked to somebody in my class, an F1 fan today in my class, and they're like, "Oh, you can watch F1." And I was like, "No, like, it's just Verstappen every week." They're like, no, you got to pretend that second place is actually first. It's way more intense.
Actually,
like,
the Daytona 500 is next week, so maybe we'll talk about that.
Okay, so maybe Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's going all the way.
Yeah, we'll come up with something to talk about. Maybe some more NFL off-season news, draft predictions. MLB starting soon, so we'll get into that. We got basketball to talk about. And yeah. So anyways, yeah, if you guys enjoyed, also let us know your rating on the Super Bowl. I think there's a lot of varied opinions out there on it, but I think most people agree it became
and early Super Bowl predictions for 2025. San Francisco 49ers versus Cincinnati Bengals. 49ers 40, Bengals 0. That's my prediction. So
I'm gonna go for I want a Joe Burrow Super Bowl.
Put a bet on that right now.
Yeah, I'll bet on it right now with that.
Do that.
I also want to mention. I put $80 on the Chiefs to win, and it was an emotional hedge. I was told to do it because at least I put in some money and I won about $120 from that, and I can tell you guys confidently that it did not make anything better. It did not help. I'd rather just lose $80. So
money doesn't solve happiness, people.
Well,
yeah, money. That's your silver lining. Money does not solve happiness.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Comment down your thoughts on Super Bowl down below, and we will see you next week.
Ciao.